All right, what's going on, guys? Wells Fargo Championship this week. It's not your normal spot at Quail Hollow. It is at a TPC Potomac, which is a course that I've played a little bit here in DC, so I've got to know it a decent amount. And, when you look at this course, it's a par 70. We rarely see that on the PGA Tour where you have kind of a U.S. Open kind of scoring, only a couple par fives to deal with, long ones at that. But then you also have 7,160 is what the total yards are. So it's not a super long course. It is, however, challenging off the tee. When you look at players, and we're looking for value here for this week, players that can make money for you, you want to find guys that are good at driving accuracy, good approaching the green. You really have to be in position off of the tee in order to attack some of these greens and attack some of the approach shots here and really put yourself in position. I mean, these greens are no joke. I mean, you really have to be in the right position. They're not ridiculous, but most players I spoke with and caddies as well feel like this is a fair course. I mean, Billy Foster has never caddied here before, which is crazy to believe in 38 years what not of caddying in his life. It's just amazing that he's come here, see it for the first time. He loves the elevation changes. Courses, holes remind him of actually Hazeltine and also Jack's Place at Muirfield Village. So there's just a lot of nuances to this course. Sergio Garcia I spoke with today. He's a veteran as well. As a player, he's never played here before, which is crazy. Until Tuesday afternoon did Sergio finally play his first round ever at TPC Potomac, okay? He likes the fact that he's a couple big drivers away from Congressional. Of course, he played and won the Booz Allen Classic at a former name of that tournament there at the old Kemper Open in 2005. Remember, he beat Adam Scott there. So there's some good memories in this area for Sergio Garcia. He had a top 10 as well at Congressional, if you remember, in 2011. So he loves kind of this area of DC golf. And this is a whole new course, though. It's a whole new challenge. He said he's just going to have to figure out a game plan as he gets used to this course. There's a lot of guys like that that may not know this course so well on a week like this. You look at the top of the leaderboard, though. Obviously, Rory, defending champion, he comes in at 11,500, and really, he's a great pick. I walked 9 holes with Rory on Tuesday as I was front 9, didn't miss a green. This guy just totally looked at home around here. Okay. I think he dropped maybe 4 birdies and his proximity was so good. I mean, some of these holes with his driver, he was able to hit short wedge shots and hit it to about 6 feet and just tap in. I mean, it was relatively benign conditions on Tuesday. It wasn't any crazy wind. We had a little bit of gusts on the front 9 on number 4, but listen, it wasn't wild at all. But Rory totally looked comfortable in his own skin. He looked like he was ready to take on this challenge. It was an effortless front 9 for him. He ended up finishing on the back 9 as well. Played all 18 on Tuesday, getting in his homework, getting a sense of how this course plays. He did a lot of chipping around these greens, getting used to kind of things short of the green, getting used to some of the false fronts as well on some of these. You think about number 12 and that false front there, the uphill par 3. There's just a lot of little nuances. And Rory was thorough in his examination and his preparation for this week. So it was good to see that with Rory. I'm looking at guys towards the top. There's so many good ones there in the 9,000s. Honestly, there's some good ones in the 10s, but I want to start with the 9s. I want to look at Russell Henley. He's at 9,300. You got to take a look at him for your lineup. I love what he brings to the table. And specifically, I spoke with Russ this week and I said, hey, what is the focus of this course for you? You played here in 2017. You feel like you played pretty confidently, pretty well. But what is it about this course that you like? And he says, basically, you got to hit golf shots around here. And it's not like a bomber's paradise. You really can test all aspects of the game. And it's like you really have to think your way around this golf course, okay? It's a thinking man's course. It's the kind of course that there's no autopilot mode you got to get into. This is really elevation changes at every turn. You think about number 9, the par 3 down the hill. You think about so many other holes uphill, par 3, 12. You got to take an extra club. There's just always challenges that you're navigating, and that's just something that Russell Henley really enjoys. If you look at what he's done recently in his recent play, tied for 13th at Arnold Palmer, tied for 13th at the Players. I know he had a miscut at Heritage, but guess what? He's taking a couple weeks off after that, and he's in a good frame of mind right now, as is his caddy. Todd. So listen, I really like what he brings to the table. You got to keep an eye on Russell Henley for this week at 9,300. Beyond that, when you look at other players, I mean, I love what Keegan Bradley brings to the table. 9,600 for Keegan Bradley. That's a steal. I know that sounds crazy, okay? But what this guy brings to the table in 2017 is unbelievable. That one time he played here at Quicken Loans National, the old tournament here, tied for 5th and played really well, had a great 67 on Sunday. I talked to his manager, Ben Harrison, on Tuesday, and he said that his guy's comfortable around this golf course. There's just something about the lay of this land, the sight lines, and the way it plays out. This guy's on fire. Keegan Bradley is absolutely a guy you got to go with. Okay, 5th at the Players, tied for 8th at Valero, tied for 4th at the Zurich. What else do you need to see from Keegan Bradley? The guy's trending. The guy plays well at this golf course. What do I need to do to convince you to get him on your team and get in the mix? There are so many other things. 10th in tee to green is where he's ranked as well. And this is such an important factor for this course. Off the tee is so important to be in position. And that's the kind of thing that you're going to get from Keegan Bradley as your pick this week. 9,600. This is as good as it gets, I think, with value for this week at this tournament, Wells Fargo Championship. Now, beyond that, though, we look at other players. Patrick Reed. I spoke with Patrick, and he mentioned that there's the nuances of these greens. He likes the fact that there's so many different slopes on these greens. You can bring in different shots. You can also play off the tee. There's enough room off the tee if it's a dog leg to the right or dog leg to the left. There's enough room to hit a fade on a dog leg right hole. You know what I mean? Like, it's not so tightly tree lined that you don't have different options. So he loves the artistry, the creativity off the tee here. And then as well, coming into the greens, being able to utilize different types of slopes. This is something that really suits Patrick's game really well. He loves that he can bring in his tight draw. That's his go-to shot. He can bring that in on a lot of these holes. And he has the room with these approach shots. Yes, there's a lot of tree line. Yes, there's a lot of wildlife, backwoods out here at TPC Potomac. But overall, Reed is very comfortable at this place, having played in 2017 in the past. And he loved what he saw of it in that run there. He's played pretty well. Second in shots gained off the tee. Sorry, I'm already jumping ahead. Keith Mitchell, it's very late. I'm burning the candle at both ends. I'm going to go on now to Keith Mitchell, and Mitchell's the guy second in shots gained off the tee. That's so important this week. Driver is crucial to set you up to be able to attack these greens, to be able to make it a second shot golf course. You really do need to be in position. Keith Mitchell is your guy for that. Very strong value out of him this week. 7,800. This is so good. You want to check that out. Look at his recent play as well. Tied for 12th at Pebble. Tied for 10th at Phoenix Open. In Honda, where he's won before. Tied for 9th. Tied for 13th at the Players Championship. I mean, Keith Mitchell is really feeling good. I spoke with him this week as well on Tuesday. I said, hey, what do you see with the driving out here? What's the key to driving? He says, you know what? There's enough room to miss. I should say, to not have to hit all the left to right dog legs, which you see on a lot of these holes. You can still hit a draw. You're not going to have super thick tree lines. It's going to avoid the possibility of hitting other types of shots. The slope of the fairway, you got to read all that off the tee as well. He's comfortable off the tee at this golf course. He's one of the best players off the tee on the PGA Tour. There's a lot of great things that are fitting for Keith Mitchell this week. I love what he brings to the table. I mean, 23rd in tee to green. That's also an important aspect of this as well. Ball striking, getting into position, and also attacking these pins from being in position as well. So I love what Keith Mitchell brings to the table. Man, where else do you go from here? I mean, this is an embarrassment of riches. Denny McCarthy's a good one. He knows this course so well, being from this area, being Rockville, Maryland, up the road. His parents still live in Rockville. He's staying with his parents this week. You want to talk about home field advantage. He knows TPC Potomac's played it many, many times growing up in this area, but he's got a home-cooked meal from mom. I mean, this is just too good for the local guy, Denny McCarthy. And I just love his attitude around here. I spoke with him on Monday, and he said he just loves the sight lines off these tees. He loves the fair test. It tests all aspect of your golf game, and that's a big aspect, I think, for Denny McCarthy. The other thing is he told me he's been working on his driver a lot recently. That's so important, to be comfortable with your driver off the tee. He even mentioned on this course, off the tee, you have to put yourself in position into the fairway, and that way you've got an actual realistic opportunity to go after some of these greens. Oftentimes you cannot be aggressive if you're not in the fairway. You're not, because you have to be able to spin the ball going to some of these greens as well. So Denny's comfortable around here. Home cooked meal, home cooked place for him to be, and I think it's a good spot. At 7,300, he's good value going into a week like this. Other players, if you look down the line, Sung Kang, if you're looking down on the 6,000, Sung Kang 6,900 is such a steal. Think about the amount of players that are playing this week who have played under pressure and delivered well at this golf course, okay? 2017, 2018, they're, of course, the winners, but more recently, 2018 winner was Francesco Molinari. Of course, he played well down the stretch. But Sung Kang in both years, tied for 5th in 2017, 3rd alone in 2018, okay? He shot 264s in 2017. Different conditions each time. Sung Kang knows how to get it done at this golf course, okay? This is something that he is comfortable, a place he's comfortable around. He looked comfortable this week. I saw him. He was playing in front of Rory on Tuesday, and he was hitting a lot of greens. He seemed in a good place at a course like this. I know recently, 5 of 6 cuts he's missed, but horses for courses is a real thing. He's made it to the Open Championship because of his 2 strong finishes here in the past. He's delivered when it's mattered. It's so important. That confidence, I think, is something you could tap into. At 6,900, Sung Kang, a steal of a deal. And I know that's a cliche, but that's where you go at this point for this week. Those are my thoughts. If you subscribe to the channel here, I would love and appreciate that. There's so much going on for this week. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch up soon.